Hello and welcome everyone. It is August 15th, 2019. Yesterday was New Comic Book Day, best day of the week. It is time for another new comic haul video, which I haven't done in about a month, but I've got some time off work right now. I got a couple of weeks off, so I wanted to put out a comic haul video and talk some comics. And I'm going to do kind of a down the road video. Well, I'm going to continue after I do my show, my haul. I'm going to talk about some books down the road that look really good, so I'll get into that in a little bit. But I just want to say thank you to all my followers or subscribers on YouTube and followers on Instagram. I say it every video. I really appreciate all of you, so thank you so much. And normally I would do a comic shop shout out right about now, but I want to talk about another YouTuber. A lot of you probably know him. It's Regie Simmons. His channel is called Regie Collects. I'm going to put a link to a video down in my comments section. It's one of his videos he did about a week ago. It's called Moira's Secret Life House of X Discussion. It's about an hour long. You can skip through the first few minutes because it was a live video, so he's giving shout outs to people who are in the chat and everything. But it's a really good video because he goes into depth. This House of X and Powers of 10, as you all know, it's really good. And he goes into discussion about Moira's life and everything else. And I don't want to kind of give away everything he talks about in the video, but it's just really good. And a couple of things he pointed out, and I watched it twice. It was really good. He said it's funny that people are it's been a long time since people are excited about a book and not because of money, and because it's just because it's a really good story. And you know what? I get comments. I've been promoting it ever since it came out because it's really good. I really enjoy it. It's the first X-Men title in years that it's the first book I read now is House of X and Powers of 10. And every once in a while I'll get somebody put a comment on, oh, you're a fanboy of X-Men. No, I mean, as you can see, I've got some of my old X-Men, 221, because that's first Mr. Sinister, but I haven't read X-Men in years, and it's because it sucked, and I have to say, it's just really good. And as soon as somebody says that, I say, well, have you read it? And then they never comment. They never reply back, so obviously they haven't read it. Whatever. But yeah, he talks on a couple things. The number 6 seems to be a big issue. And he goes into a whole bunch of stuff. And like I say, I don't want to give it away, but I highly recommend you watch it. I'm going to put the link to his video down in my comment section. It is really good, and it's worth the time. So yeah, just go watch it, because it's funny. He mentions in the video somewhere that one of the guys said, yeah, it's the first time in years where I actually sat in my car and read the comic book in the parking lot of my comic shop because I couldn't wait till I got home. So anyway, it's just a really good video. I highly recommend it. So Regie Simmons, Regie Collects, he's kind of my shout out today. So we'll go into stuff. A couple books. These are as you all know, I don't order a ton of limited variants. I do order some. Like in the background here, I got my Powers of 10 with Rasputin on the cover. It's a Perel variant. Man, I love that cover. That is a smoking hot cover. I know there was a bunch of nice ones out there, but to me, this is the best one to get. There's only 500 of these, and the price is really shot up on it. It's a good one. I hope you got. I know a lot of you got it. I've seen images. A lot of you sent me images of the ones you got. So got that, and like I say, I got my X-Men 221, which is Mr. Sinister first appearance. Looks like he's gonna have a role to play going forward. So hope you got that one, because it's a good one to have. That's back in the 80s when I was collecting. I'm pretty sure that was 80s, either late 80s or early 90s. I can't remember exactly, but. Picked up Blade Runner #1. I got a couple copies of I think it was Gallagher that did that one. Sorry, I should have written that down. I can't remember, but I just really like the cover, and I really like this new Blade Runner series. It's really good, and I think that one's like I say, I really think that one's going to end up on HBO Max at some point. That's just my opinion. That's what I think. And then I went to a little shop out here. It's kind of a toy store, but they bring the odd comics. They have some comics. They have a subscription service for people. But it's a smaller shop, so they don't bring in a lot, but they'll bring in some main titles. And I go in there and check every once in a while. You know, they have some books I pick up here and there, but not a lot. But every once in a while, they get a subscription box that hasn't been picked up in a long time, so they just put all the books out. And sure enough, I walk in there, they just put the box out. So I got a copy of Immortal Hulk #1 first print for cover price just this past week. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll take that. And then I got, while I was there, I found a copy of A-Force #1. from back a few years ago, which has got some promise. Again, I got it for cover price, so I can't really go wrong. Then I got another copy of Thor 338, which is your second Beta Ray Bill. So I mean, I can't, you find these books sitting around at some of these shops, even though you strike out a few times, it's worth checking back over, because you never know what's going to happen. So anyways, books I got this week: Independence. I got The White Trees, and man, I don't know if you read this, but this was not what I was expecting, and all I can say is it was a giant sausage party, and I don't know. I mean, there's only 2 issues. I'll probably pick up the second one just because I got the first one, but I have to say it wasn't my favorite read this week. That one was not my favorite. I'll just put it that way. Picked up The Watcher #1. That one I thought was pretty good, and I love the cover on this one, and I showed this in my last video, some of the covers coming down the road. I love the stained glass window in the background. That looks really cool. And from Boom Studios, this was one of my picks of the week, and Once and Future One I had is a really good story. I really enjoyed this one. It's a cool story. It kind of brings in King Arthur and Excalibur and all that kind of stuff, but in modern times, and it's a really cool story. I highly recommend it. If you didn't read this one, I highly suggest you do, because it is good. That's a really good one, man. So that's it for Independence. I just got the 3. I did not get, oh damn it, which one? My shop didn't. There was a couple I wanted to get, and they didn't have them, so I don't remember what it was, but anyways. Batman and the Outsiders #4, picked that one up. This one, the first couple issues I really enjoyed. This one and the last one, it's okay. I really hope it kind of picks up a bit, because it was looked pretty promising after the first couple issues. I got Justice League Odyssey #12, because there's a death right at the end of this, which was pretty good. And then I got Event Leviathan #3, which was okay. I haven't. This doesn't even compare to that House of X and Powers of 10. That is just so good, man. I really hope you're all have been on that since #1. It's really good. From Marvel, I got Immortal Hulk Director's Cut. It's basically a reprint of #1, and then the whole issue with the sketches and everything that the original sketch art that Joe Bennett did is really good, though. I like his art. I grabbed a second print of issue #16, and this is an image that was not in the comic, because I went through the comic to check, because I don't remember seeing that. So it's a new cover. It's a totally new cover, and I like it because you got Noel on the cover, you got Dylan, Eddie Brock, you got Miles, you got the whole thing all on there, and it just looks wicked. And I recommend getting, just because you've got that whole. And talking about Dylan, it's, everybody's been waiting. When's Dylan gonna? It's somewhere in this Absolute Carnage run. It is gonna pay off big time. So hang on to those copies of #7 and #9. If you haven't got them, you better get them soon, because as soon as he becomes something else, man, look out. Those books are going up for sure. Got Scream #1. I thought it was okay. It was, it wasn't bad. Got Separation Anxiety, same kind of thing. I thought it was all right. I got my Powers of 10, #2. I got the regular cover. I got the new character variant, and I like these new character variants. I got the one with Rasputin on it as well for issue #1. I really like that one. I also grabbed was able to get the 1 in 10. My shop had that one, so I got that one. And last one I got was Silver Surfer Black #3, which another series. I'm really loving this series, and I want to talk about this for a second, because I'm going to go back to #1 for just a second, and I want to show you something. I'm sure a lot of you, if you read it, you remember this. Norm Ratty ends up on Clintar, and to escape, he basically creates a star. So he, he creates the light in the star. And it's funny, it says, "The infant star I have birthed into being from my power cosmic floats into the heavens to bring light back to this world." So he creates a star, and boom, there we go. We got this star. So that's awesome. That's issue #1. And then in this latest issue #3, he's injured, and Ego's got him. He's kind of in the gravitational field of Ego, but while he's there, he's dreaming, and he's with his wife, and they're dreaming and everything else. And she says, you know, she says to Norrin, what are you doing? Dreaming, just dreaming. And he says, you really want to bring a child into this? Sorry, hang on one second. I gotta go back a second. I have to edit this down so it doesn't, because I had a bit of a brain fart there. So they're talking about he wants to bring a child into the world, but it's so dark. And he says, then let's make a light. So it's interesting that you've got, in the first issue, he creates a star, and they're talking about creating a light to bring life into the world. And at the end, you've got in the belly of Ego, who in this storyline is, it says that it is the destroyer, the world killer yet to be born, here in the burning infant core of Ego, the living planet. So this is billions of years ago. So here's my theory, and here's my question, I guess, more than a theory. Is the star that Norrin created what becomes Galactus, the Lifebringer? Because it says Lifebringer 1. So I don't know, did Norrin, by going back through the black hole, ending up billions of years in the past, by creating a star, did he actually create Galactus? Is that what Donny Cates is doing here? Wouldn't that be interesting? Because, yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. But it's a really good story. It just made me think. I'm like, what the hell's going on with this? And so I was just wondering. Yeah, I have no clue. I just would be kind of interesting, because Donny Cates likes to throw a wrench into things and get you thinking about stuff and kind of change how stuff happened and everything else. And I think that would be really cool if it turns out Norrin, the Silver Surfer, who ends up being a herald of Galactus, is actually the one that created him years ago by going into the past and bringing him. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? It's just, anyways, just a thought. Let me know what you think about that. It could be, again, way out to lunch there. But anyways, I'm going to talk about some stuff coming down the road. That's everything I got this week. There's some really good stuff coming, and I'm going to start with Marvel. There's a couple new titles coming out from them in November. I'm sure a lot of you saw this, but there's a Morbius #1 comes out November, and it's got a wicked-ass Ryan Brown cover. It just looks so cool, and they want to get that launched before the new Morbius movie hits next year, so it makes sense, but it looks, hopefully that's good. There's also a Scream #1 new ongoing series. That comes out in November as well. I don't know about that one so much. I'll probably pick up #1, see how it is, but the Morbius one looks really good. Got a Miles Morales #10. There's, I'm going to put image, you'll kind of see the solicitation and stuff too, but Miles Morales #10, this comes out in September. It's the 250th issue, and it's Miles' birthday. Okay, so we got all that. So there's a mystery dating back to Miles' first appearance answered. A terrifying villain destined to become one of Miles' greatest adversaries is revealed. So it's interesting because they mention that there's and in the background you see Miles and the creature. Then right in the back you see kind of a head. Then I'm going to show the image for #11. And its ultimatum is here, and New York doesn't know what hit it. I'm pretty sure that the ultimatum is that you kind of just see the eyes and the bit of the top of the head in the back there. I'm pretty sure. So it sounds like #10 is going to be the first appearance of Ultimatum. I can't find anything on Ultimatum. If you guys have seen him before, let me know, because maybe it's not. But I think that's a new character coming. And being a 250th issue, that's a good one to get. So I'm getting that for sure. I mentioned Red Goblin, Red Death #1. That's just a one-shot that comes out in October. A lot of you know about that, so nothing huge there. Looks like it'll be good, though. And I'm suspecting Red Goblin to show up in Absolute Carnage for sure. Daredevil #12. It looks like a fake Daredevil was caught by the corrupt police. So we may find out who it is that's the Daredevil. I think it's going to be either... it could be Cole North for all I know that's running around as Daredevil. We'll find out. I know there's that kid who's had the Daredevil mask, so I don't know if we've got a fake Daredevil and then the kid is just somebody who, is throwing us off the trail. Who knows? But I think it's really, I love Daredevil. It's one of the best series going right now. Immortal Hulk 25. He's called the Breaker of Worlds in this, so I don't, and it says that he's dead, But I don't know. I mean, does he come back? Does he become something more than just Immortal Hulk? Does he become cosmic, like the Cosmic Hulk? I don't know. The Cosmic Immortal Hulk? Wouldn't that be funny? Anyways, him and the Cosmic Ghost Rider could ride around together. But Immortal Hulk 25, that looks like a really good one. It's going to be a double-size issue, too. Of course, it'll be probably $10, but anyways, we'll see what happens. Silver Surfer Black number 4. Like I say, this series is really good, and I know I hope you're looking past the art, because I like the art actually. Now that I've been in it, his art is good. It's a different style for sure, but it is really good. The cover of the 1 for 25 of Silver Surfer Black number 4 shows a Silver Surfer fighting Null, and Silver Surfer's turned his board into a sword. So that's one I'm hoping to get. I've talked to my shop and I've asked for that one. We'll see what happens, but I really want to try and get that one because that's a kind of a cool looking cover. Anytime I can get Nolan a cover on a limited variant. I don't buy a ton of limited variants, as you all know, but I do recommend some, and that one looks good. So I showed this on my Instagram. Spider-Man number 1, the J.J. Abrams, that comes out September 18th. There's a Chip Kid variant, red cover. It's a die-cut cover. And from what I understand, the shops got an email, I think I want to say on Tuesday, and then on this Wednesday, just like yesterday, was the cutoff for it. So most shops had to get their orders in really quick. There was hardly any notice. So talk to your shop and see if they're getting them if you want one. It's kind of a throwback to the 90s. This is something they did in the 90s all the time with their die-cut covers and everything else. Once in a while, I don't mind. I really hope it doesn't become a common occurrence. And then, because the next thing, it'll be all the foil shiny covers again. So we'll see what happens. Looks like it is the first appearance of Cadaverous, though. So that I'm going to try and get one just because, hey, I'm a collector. What can I say? And then, as you all know, there's all the new X-Men titles coming out. There's 6 of them in October. You've got X-Men, which is written by Hickman. That one I'm definitely going to stick with. I don't know about the other ones, but I'll probably pick up the number 1s. But X-Men, the new ongoing series written by Hickman, I'm definitely going to pick that up. You've got Fallen Angels, New Mutants, Marauders, Excalibur, and X-Force. You'll see images for those on the screen. I'm sure shops will bring these in by the boatload for the first issue anyway, so shouldn't be any issues getting them. And then Marvel will have 20 covers for each. So good luck collecting all those. But I'm definitely going to get the first issue for all those, like I say, and I'm going to stick with X-Men for sure because that looks really good. That's it for Marvel. From DC, got a few things from them. There's Last God number 1. That looks really interesting. It's October 30th it comes out. I'm pretty sure my shop will bring that in, but that's another one I got to double check. Basket Full of Heads. It's a DC Black Label one. That looks pretty cool. It looks like a dark storyline, and it looks pretty gory, so I'm going to definitely pick that one up. There's a couple Joker titles coming out. I'm not picking them all up, but a couple look really good. Is Joker Year the Villain number 1. That comes out October 2nd. That looks pretty good. And again, you'll see all the solicitation stuff on the screen there. There's also a Joker Harley Criminal Sanity comes out October 2nd as well. Beginning of October is going to be, that's going to be a busy week. Holy cow. But some good stuff. And that one's, I believe, I think it's a 12-part mini or maxi series, I guess, that Joker Harley one. It sounds like it's more to do with kind of solving some murders, but looking at the psychoanalysis of people and everything else. So it sounds like an interesting take on it. I'll definitely look at that. And then there's a Sandman Hellblazer special number 1 that comes out on October 30th. So Hellblazer looks like he's back, and I love Constantine, so I'm going to look into that one for sure. And one really good one for DC is Batman Beyond 37. That comes out October 23rd. It looks like you're going to get a new Batgirl in that one. So definitely, if you haven't, I don't buy every Batman Beyond. I do like the series, but I haven't been buying them all. But that one I'm definitely getting. So that looks like one you're going to want to get. There's a few independents that coming down the road I'm looking at. Obviously, Once and Future 1. I showed this in my last video, the 3rd print from Boom. That comes out September 4th, so it's not too far away. It's just a really, really nice cover, and I love that series, man. That's a good series. Strange Skies Over East Berlin number 1. That's another Boom title. That comes out October 2nd. It looks pretty interesting, so I'm going to try and get that one. And I mentioned this one a while back, but just a reminder that Dead Eyes number 1 comes out October 2nd. That is a kind of a relaunch of Dead Rabbit, which only got the first 2 issues out before the whole lawsuit thing. I mentioned it before, but the first issue was an oversized first issue, and from what I understand, they're gonna reprint issue 1 and 2, I think, and relaunch that, and then carry on with the series after that. But it's now called Dead Eyes, and it looks wicked, so definitely picking that up. And then another one that I mentioned in my last video, but I got to show it again, is Watcher number 3 from Zenoscope. It's just a wicked cover. I love it. It's just that's an old boy cover. I love it. So that is everything I got for you today, folks. Oh, actually, no, hang on one second. I want to talk about, I mentioned on my Instagram channel real quick, X-Men number 305 was your first appearance of the Phalanx, or Phalanx, I guess, which just showed up in Powers of 10 number 2 at the end. The Phalanx is kind of a hive mind kind of thing, and in 305 you get a couple of guys fighting the X-Men, and they're actually part of the Phalanx and of the hive mind. So although you don't see the whole hive mind, that is technically their first appearance is 305. So you can find that one in the dollar bin. Pick it up. I mean, don't go paying more than a couple bucks for it. I wouldn't pay much for it, because who knows if it's ever going to go anywhere. But it's a good one to get if you can find it in the dollar bin. So anyways, folks, that's it. Just rambling on about comics here. I'll put out my top picks video in a couple days. But happy hunting, everyone. Take care. Bye for now.